AP Classroom, Unit 7, FRQB, progress check. For Part A, it's just a slope field. This is question 1. Part A, it's just a slope field. Just check the answer. It should be pretty straightforward. You shouldn't have a problem making the slopes for that based on this differential equation. So I'm not going to really do that one. You can, if you need help drawing those slopes, let me know and I'll assist you individually. Part B is find the second derivative. So that's the first thing you got to do. So let's do that. So we're using this first derivative that's given right there. And so if we were going to do the derivative of it, we have to use the product rule. So the derivative of x is just 1. Leave y cubed alone. Then leave x alone. And the derivative of y cubed is 3y squared times y prime. Now, it says on here in terms of x and y, and this is in terms of x and y prime, so we have to insert y prime in there again. So remember, that's y prime right up there. So the answer that is completely acceptable for AP would be this following thing. Would be something like that. So that's the second derivative. That's really y double prime. That's a fine answer for it. It does go on to ask you a little bit more. Determine the concavity of all curves of the differential equation in the fourth quadrant. So what you have to kind of realize is in the fourth quadrant, x is greater than 0, but y is less than 0 in the fourth quadrant. So we kind of got to think about, well, what happens when x is greater than 0 and y is less than 0? What are we going to get out of this? Notice that if we do that, the second derivative is going to be less than 0 because you're going to have a negative plus a positive for the x times a positive for 3, but then y squared and y cubed is going to produce a negative again. So you have a negative plus another negative. So the second derivative is going to be negative, which means that y is concave down in quadrant 4. So that's what I would do for part B. And it's because the second derivative is less than 0. For part C, it says, okay, now we're going to find the particular solution. This idea of find the particular solution, that tag word with the 2, -1, means separate the variables. So, sorry, I have some other work here I'm going to clear out of. And so from this part C is we're given this differential equation that's x times y cubed, and we're given the point 2, -1. Let me just make sure that that is the differential equation, x times y cubed, and then we're given this point 2, -1, and we're asked to find the particular solution. So the first thing we're going to do is separate the variables. I'm going to make it y to the -3 dy is equal to x dx. We're going to integrate both sides. Y to the -2 divided by -2 is equal to x squared divided by 2 plus c. Once we integrate the left and the right side, now we're going to put in this point 2, -1. So we have -1 to the -2 divided by -2 is equal to 2 squared divided by 2 plus c. So that's 1/2. -1/2 is equal to 2 plus c. So c is equal to -5/2. So if c is equal to -5/2, now what we have for an answer is we have -1 over 2y squared is equal to, say I'm just going to leave it the way it was and kind of simplify it off of this, I think. So I have -1/2 y to the -2 is equal to x squared divided by 2 minus 5/2. Because if I'm going to solve this, what I'm going to do on this is I am going to multiply by -2. And then to get rid of the next part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise this to the -1/2 power. But then I would need to raise this to the -1/2 power, because that's just going to get me y to the first. And my answer is that. That's an easy way to kind of get our final answer on there. And provided I haven't made any mistakes, that's what you get. That's question 1. So let's move on to question 2. Sorry, I didn't know I had all this in there. Clear this page. This was yesterday's work. So number 2. I go to question number 2. Tells me, you can't use a calculator, yada, yada, yada. And it gives me this derivative and gives me a portion of this slope field. What it means is I just need to kind of generally follow through there. I'll let you look at the answer key. You should be able to do part A relatively easy. Part B is write the equation of the tangent line. Now, I'm going to be really, really generic with this. And I'm going to write it without doing any simplification. I know that the answer key is going to simplify. I know I've told you not to simplify. This is at the 0.05/2. So what I'm going to write is I'm going to go back up here to this equation, and I'm going to write, okay, what I have is 5/2 minus 1. I'm going to have this slope times 0 plus 1 times cosine 0 squared plus 2 times 0 plus pi. There's my slope. Times x minus 0 plus 5/2. That is actually a tangent line. I know that that looks messy. You can try to simplify that, but please don't. What I wrote there is an acceptable answer for the AP exam. Trying to simplify it is only going to cause you pain because you might do that incorrectly. If you leave it the way it is, you won't get it wrong. So just leave it. I know that makes some of you kind of creeped out on it, but don't stop. Don't do any more with it. So then the next part is, again, has this tag, find the particular solution. They give you the 0.05/2. Find the particular solution to this differential equation. I'm going to find the differential equation. Sorry, there it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the variables on this. You know you have dy dx is equal to y minus 1 times x plus 1 times cosine x squared plus 2x plus pi. And I'm going to separate the variables. So 1 over y minus 1 dy is equal to x plus 1 times cosine x squared plus 2x plus pi dx. And I'm going to integrate the left side and integrate the right side. The integral of the left side, we have done several of those. The integral of the left side is just the natural log of y minus 1. The integral of the right side, we're going to make u equal to x squared plus 2x plus pi. So du is equal to 2x plus 2 dx, which means 1/2 du is equal to x plus 1 dx. If you factor out a 2. So what we have then is we have the integral of the cosine of u times 1/2 du. We can integrate that. We got the natural log of y plus 1 minus 1. Is it y plus 1 or y minus 1? Is equal to, the 1/2 is just a constant. The integral of cosine is sine. U is equal to x squared plus 2x plus pi. And then you have plus a constant. Now again, we are going to do some crazy simplification on this. We are not going to simplify anything, actually, is the crazy part of it. We are just going to plug in some values and not do any arithmetic and leave the constant in a really nasty form. And I don't care, because if I start to make arithmetic errors, I mess things up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that point, 0, 5/2. That's the point they gave me here. So that's what I'm going to use. So I'm going to do the natural log of 5/2 minus 1 is equal to 1/2 sine of 0 squared plus 2 times 0 plus pi plus c. So c is equal to the natural log of 5/2 minus 1 minus 1/2. I will simplify this because I can do that much. But that's my constant. I'm going to leave that as my constant. I'm going to leave that as my constant. So my new equation that I'm working with is the natural log of y minus 1 is equal to 1/2 sine x squared plus 2x plus pi plus natural log 5/2 minus 1 minus 1/2 sine of 0, sine of pi. I know that I could leave that. I know that I could simplify that a little bit, but I am not going to. What I am going to do on this problem, let me clear this page here. Sorry, clear that page. What I'm going to do on this is I'm going to use e and I'm going to add 1. I'm going to do it in one step, but I'm going to, y is equal to e to all of this stuff, 1/2 sine x squared plus 2x plus pi plus natural log 5/2 minus 1 minus 1/2 sine pi plus 1. That's my answer. I am not simplifying it. I know that when I go to this scoring guidelines and I grab the answer, I'm fairly certain that when I go to part C, I'm pretty sure that they will do some simplifying up here. I am not simplifying. I am leaving it the way it is. What I wrote right here is the exact same thing as what they wrote. They just simplified it. I am leaving it. Hopefully that helps. If you have questions, let me know. I'd be happy to give you more help.